Yayoi Kusama is a Japanese contemporary artist who works in sculpture and installation, but is also active in painting, performance, film, fashion, poetry, fiction, and other arts. She was born in Japan March 22, 1921, to a family of merchants that had a plant nursery and a seed farm. She drew pictures of pumpkins when she was in elementary school. Her childhood was influenced by the effects of growing up in wartime. Her family did not support her art even as a young child. She was very talented and drew in great detail. She also worked very quickly because she did not want her mother to see her artwork or she would take it away from her. In the 1950s, Kusama was depicting abstract natural forms in watercolor, gouache, and oil, primarily on paper. She began covering surfaces, walls, floors, and later household objects with the polka dots that would become her trademark. In 1966, Kusama participated in the Venice Biennale, which is a big art show. Her Narcissus garden comprised hundreds of mirrored spheres outdoors in what she called a kinetic carpet. In the late 60s, Kusama worked as an artist in New York. It was difficult back then to be recognized as a woman artist. She had lots of great ideas, and many people tried to copy her and take credit for her ideas. She was struggling in New York and decided to move back to Japan. She was in ill health at that point, and it was a low period for her because in her own country, they did not recognize women artists and no one had heard of her. She still persisted in her work. She was ahead of her time. She had a lot of ideas that are now accepted. She wanted everyone to have the right for creative expression. Her work was rediscovered in the late 1980s, and she was given credit for a lot of things that other people had said were their ideas. She again showed in the Venice Biennale, the big art show, and had a great exhibit. In 1993, Kusama is very popular now and well recognized as a woman artist. She's had a lot of shows, and you're lucky if you can even get a ticket to get into one. She sets up rooms that are environments that have artwork and plays with lighting and color and mirrors to try and make the shapes repeat and look like it goes on forever. Let's try using her ideas about circles and curvy lines together. Get your drawing pad and a piece of paper and some markers. By doing this, just a kind of a curvy line across the page, anywhere you want. And you can't really do this wrong. I mean, it's your choice where you're putting it. And then you're going to make another line kind of next to it so that it's like a big fat path. And in the center of this path, we're going to fit big circles. And we're just going to go around. You can come back and press down on things if you want the color to show up more. This is not going to be a bunch of different colors as much as just a couple of colors. So pick out a color you like. We're just outlining to begin with. And when you've got all of your big circles done, you're going to come in and you're going to start adding in smaller circles in the empty spaces. This is kind of an optical illusion because it makes it look like the center is closer to you with the big circles and the edges are going away from you because they have smaller circles. This is the beginning of perspective. And so then you keep making some smaller and smaller circles to fill in the empty spaces. This takes a little bit of time. So now the next thing that we're going to do when you finish this first one is maybe you could change colors and you're going to make another line that passes through this. So it's going to go under though. It'll be kind of peeking out. And you follow this recipe again, making big circles in the center and smaller circles towards the edges. You might not do this all right here and right now. Big circles in the middle. Because you can see we could fill up the whole page with this, but I think 2's plenty right now. So we're doing big circles and then little circles around the edges. Now you could do this in different colors, or you can color in the circles.
I want to color in circles.
The artist is Kusama, and you should see, I'll show you some more pictures of her work. And the amount of time she spends on these little circles and dots, it's pretty remarkable. It's kind of important that we try it ourselves to even know like how much work that was. And you can start it. You don't have to do it all right now, but just so you get the idea that she loved polka dots. Her favorite color also, she's got a lot of red. She uses a lot of yellow.
So those are her favorite colors?
I would say so, because she uses them so much. When she was a little girl, she was born in Japan, and it wasn't really popular for women to be artists.
Beautiful.
So she was always sketching, but her parents did not encourage her. They didn't want her to do that. They themselves grew plants. And so she would study seeds, and she's got some beautiful drawings of plant life, like she was around it all the time and was drawing it. And then she went to, her parents didn't want her to be an artist, and they didn't get along that way. So she moved to New York when she was a young woman, and she kind of got popular there with her artwork. But it was still a place that was not a good place for women to be, because it was mostly kind of a man's art world. So she struggled in New York. She did a lot of photography. She did a lot of these rooms with mirrors and dots. That was an optical illusion. And some of her ideas got stolen by other artists, and they got kind of famous for it. So she was very upset and sad.
That is so rude.
Yeah, it's very rude. So she was running out of money and having a hard time. She came back to Japan after being kind of famous in New York, and nobody knew about her, and her culture did not think women should be doing artwork. And so she really struggled to go back home. At least she knew Japan, but she wasn't sure what to do with herself. And then she kept doing her artwork, and she started doing these environments. It was like a whole room, and the whole room would be painted with these wiggling arms and polka dots. And people began to go into the rooms like, ooh, this makes me feel weird. And then she'd put up mirrors, and they were just fascinated to see how she could change a room with just some mirrors and some dots and to make it look like it was an infinity room. So someone else again tried to steal that idea from her. And now she's probably about 91 years old and very famous and very popular, because now they know whose real ideas there were.
My arm's tired.
Now, when you feel like your arm's tired, switch over to coloring in. So maybe you're going to color in a circle. Maybe they're all going to be the same color. Like, I don't know. That part's up to you, what color and how you're going to color in.
I have an idea. So on pink, I'll put this.
Go ahead and speak up a little bit so we can hear you.
I have an idea, which I did pink and purple. Those are two of my favorite colors. I'm thinking that I could put the purple and the pink polka dots and the pink and the purple polka dots.
That sounds great. I want to borrow that idea. That's why I miss working with everybody in the classroom, because it's hard to trade ideas this way. Yeah, and remember, you can always start this and leave it on your table and come back to it like whenever you need something to do. Because artists don't just sit down and do something for a few minutes and then they're done with it. They leave it up, they walk by it, they add a little something, or they come back to it later and finish it. But I just wanted you to know about her idea with the polka dots. And what you can do with her recipe, the parts of her art. Her recipe is lots of curving lines, not so many straight lines, and lots of circles. And oh, her other piece of artwork that's really interesting is she does these big sculptures that are giant pumpkins, but she makes them all have polka dots on them.
Nice.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like big metal sculptures that are outside in parks and things. And in this video, you could be using oil pastels, markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you want to make this Kusama design. Curving lines and circles. So you can think about that, like how will you use curving lines and circles in your own work? We started with the big circles in the center and the smaller ones near the edges. If they were all the same size, I don't think it'd be so interesting.
Yeah.
She was a really great artist who could draw just about anything, but she preferred to do it her own way with these dots and circles. Oh, I'm going to get a mirror so we could hold it up to this and see if we can make that effect of where it looks like it goes on forever. To make it an infinity, it's called.
Yeah.
You know how it looks like something's repeating in a mirror, in a mirror, in a mirror?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have that same thing in my bathroom. There's a mirror.
Oh, yes.
And then another mirror, and it pulls out. And it looks like there's a mirror and a mirror and a mirror. Okay, we're back. Kind of does look like it's everything. I put another mirror here. Tip of the day. So when you're doing this, you could do whatever shapes and sizes, but there's 2 tips. You can, this is only polka dots and curvy lines, no straight lines, and if you feel tired, you can always take a break and pick it up whenever you want to. So that's the tip of the day. And I think that's really helpful. Instead of doing circles and going back in and coloring them in, you can kind of color them in while you go. See?
Oh, that's a good idea.
And since I'm doing ombre, I'm gonna do orange now.
What does ombre mean?
Ombre means it's as many different colors as you have it, and then it shifts to a different color, and it makes different colors mixed together, and then it goes to a different color. You can do as many colors as you possibly ever can do.
So they kind of blend and fade from one color to another color. It starts out as one color. It's kind of like a rainbow, but the lines are blurry in between.
Yes.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of artwork that really does take time to do. Not everything is 5-minute crafts, you know?
Yeah, even 5-minute crafts aren't 5 minutes.
Right, because that's all sped up.
Yeah, there's just like let it dry 20 minutes. Okay. So she is doing, here's pin over there. She is doing a colored background right here. So it's actually pretty cool. But if you pan over to my space, I'm just doing polka dots.
An ombre.
That's our ombre.
stopping, but now I can't.
Yeah, me either.
Oh.
I can't stop. By the way, we have it on normal. So if you want to stop chatting, you can. We wanted to stop and go to the store, but we can't stop now because it's addicting.
Just gotta color one more circle.
One more.
I love your ombre.
Thank you. And I'm done.
We went to the store to look for some flat mirrors. We ended up at Ross and we found 2 makeup mirrors to try and get our pictures to look like they're going into infinity.